Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Happy long weekend. I wanted to do just a really short video here for a couple of reasons. The first of which is to show off a new Chrome extension, which is called Screencastify, that allows you to do free screencasts from within Chrome. It's the first that I've ever seen that works reasonably well. Couple of issues that I have kind of discovered while working with it. Number one, it is still very, very limited. And second, as I start to move my mouse around, you should see that that cursor is going to, it doesn't refresh very well, and you start to see lots of those cursor objects show up. So if you are going to be using this, just ensure that you are trying to limit the amount of mouse movement or click occasionally, and that seems to get rid of the ones that have kind of built up. That being said, those limitations can be overlooked because number one, it's completely free, and then number two, it gives us the ability quite easily to do screencasts from essentially any computer that has Chrome as well as our Chromebooks. So this is a big advantage for us. Second part of this is to talk about our lab bookings. And I've had a couple of emails in recently. People are still a little bit confused in terms of double bookings, and they don't really understand what's going on. We're still having some double bookings, and so the goal of this video is to try to clarify what's going on when you are booking, what happens if a double booking occurs, and how we can try to limit the double bookings. So I'm in my calendar here, and I have the library lab actually showing in my calendar. Now, you're not going to see this in your calendar. You would see it if you went into the lab bookings page right here, but I want us to see kind of what's going on behind the scenes. So just imagine that this is what your calendar would look like. So let's start with the 18th here. I can see that the library lab has been booked from 10:30 to basically 12 o'clock in order for classes to do the pillars. So let's say that I wanted to try to book a lab there. So I would do my Pottage Photo 20, go under the edit event, hit the rooms, hit the HH, and hopefully you guys just saw that, but you know, depending on our network connection, at times it might take a little time for that refresh to happen, where Google goes and kind of searches our labs to see which ones have already been booked and which ones are available. Sometimes it's almost instantaneous, and other times it takes 10 seconds to refresh. So you've got to be careful that you're given it time to kind of think before you actually add that lab in. So right now it's telling me that the library lab is not in fact available. But if I turn off the show only available, okay, I could click on the library lab. So let's do that now. And I'll just hit save. So the confusion that's happening right now, let me just turn off that library lab, is it's still adding that event onto your own personal calendar, okay? And this is definitely confusing some people. I don't know what the answer is. I'm trying to figure out a way that we can stop this from happening to eliminate that confusion. I'm doing the research, and as soon as I find out a way to work around this, I'll be sure to push it out. But if I click on that event, you should see that the room, in fact, it's got the little like stop sign, or essentially that notification that is telling you that that lab has not been booked, okay, because somebody else has already booked it. So that's the first way that Google's kind of telling you, no, you don't have this lab. But still, for some people, that sounds kind of like you have to do twice the amount of work. You have to book it and then check to see whether you've got it. Well, in actuality, if you go into your inbox and within a couple of seconds, like really a minute at the absolute max, if excuse me, if there was a double booking, Google will send you an email telling you that your event has been declined, that the library lab has declined this event. That is telling you, listen, somebody else already has this booked. You cannot add an event essentially onto that library lab calendar. So that's the second way, and probably the one that we should try to look for the most. Just double check your email. And then finally, if I head over into lab bookings and just quickly do a refresh on this, And let me just get rid of everything other than the library lab. You'll see that we do have this pottage photo 20 that is showing up on the calendar, but it is kind of like, it's not grayed out, but it's a lesser color, and that basically means that this is a double booking. Okay, and if I was to click on that and go into the more details, it's in fact going to bring me back into the actual event and tell me that this has been declined. Okay, so anytime you see a color that is different than the others, that is a double booking, and that is in fact not a booking. You can see that I think Deborah tried to book in the pillars, and Mr. Sedgwick already had the library lab booked for those 2 days. So hopefully this will help to clarify some of that confusion. And at the end of the day, I mean, just check your email, and your email will tell you whether or not your event has been declined. If it says declined, it means that your booking has it's a double booking, I guess, or you do not have that booking. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a shout. Have a fantastic long weekend. We will see you next week for another short week before Teachers Convention. See you later.